See, you can always tell a cokehead by a few things. Their weight never fluctuates, so it doesn't matter whether it is wintertime or it is summertime. That 3 to 5 pounds that the rest of the world gains sitting around munching Christmas cookies waiting for Santa to come, their weight never changes. Their skin's always dry, their eyes are always dilated, their bottom jaw, they're constantly. So they tend to have candy or gum in their mouth all the time. Back when I worked, it was one of the signs Pittsburgh police taught me. Just one of them. Then you notice birds of a feather, they always flock together. So all the cokehead girls rolled with the cokehead girls. All the pillheads rolled with the pillheads. All the alcoholics rolled with the alcoholics. That's pretty much how that was. You tend to, I guess, migrate to people who have the same interests and vices as you. So it's been extremely easy for me to spot cokeheads, pillheads. I was taught it decades ago. I haven't worked since '07, since 2007. Literally, my birthday, 2007. I haven't worked since. But I still remember all that. It's a lot like learning how to write your name. You don't forget it. Just because the world uses text right now doesn't mean you forgot to write your name. You forgot how. So it's always easy to spot. They always mingle together, and they tend to only have friends who do the same vices as themselves. So that's an easy one to spot. It always has been. And I told you back in the day there was a club here. It was called the Gold Mine. It was on 51. And it was rumored that that was the new hot spot for all the drug traffickers, all the drug dealers. Well, Pittsburgh police didn't want it there anymore. They didn't want it there anymore. And I was real cool with those couple fellas. Real cool with them. They're who I hung out with on my coffee breaks. So they sent a couple secret elves in. And we would report back and let them know, oh no, like, these girls are breaking all the rules. All the rules. Not only are you got to remember the clubs back then, the liquor license rules were different. It was not nude as it is today. It wasn't like that. The rules were different. So, not only were they breaking those rules, but then, they're literally doing drugs in the dressing room. The drug dealers are touching the dancers in inappropriate manners. We're not talking about a shoulder touch so you can pass through a crowded area. We're talking about groping body parts. That's what they were doing. So ultimately, Pittsburgh police got enough information that they were able to go in and shut that club down. Now, once your club gets shut down, you'll never get a liquor license again. You'll never again get a liquor license. So, that's why the gold mine isn't there anymore. I've always been one of those. I had very strict standards. Very strict standards. I'll even tell you a story. I worked out in West Virginia at Christie's for a couple years. And there were a few girls from Pittsburgh that worked out there with me. And a lot of times we would carpool. Now, I had strict rules. I had strict rules about my carpool. Don't bring drugs in my car. Not only are we crossing county lines, we're crossing state lines. That's just racking up felonies. Don't do it. Oh, one night, we're leaving work. I'm waiting for the girls that I was carpooling to come out the club. I reach into the one girl's cigarette case. You remember those old school leather cigarette cases? It snapped like a change purse, and you had your lighter. Well, I reached in to grab her lighter because mine had died. And inside her little cigarette case was a bunch of baggies of Coke. I went and got the bouncer. He was standing in the parking lot. I went and grabbed him, showed him. I was like, I'm not doing this. He's like, well, what are you going to do about it? I popped my trunk, took all their bags out my trunk, sat them in front of him, sat their cigarette case in front of him. I was like, I'm going home. I'll have nothing to do with them ever again. My standards are strict. I never did that shit, don't do that shit, and I'm not about to do that shit now. So when I say there are things that will not be tolerated around me, my standards strict. So some of the people here that are drug trafficking and sex trafficking, it amuses me because I worked with them decades ago. And because I kept my worth and I wasn't doing what they were doing down at Jill's, I was able to go off and get married. Now, when I did work, I told you my husband was one of my bouncers. I would work with my engagement ring on. I would work with my engagement ring on. I was entirely different. Now, the drug traffickers and the sex traffickers here, yeah, I happened to work with them years ago. So I know their pantomimes like See Spot Run. I know the hours in which they operate. They do all this stuff late night. It's not something they do during daylight hours where, the normal folk are up doing their yard work, laundry, cleaning house. They don't do it then. They do it when everybody else is asleep because it's easier for them to operate and it's less witnesses. The other thing I've noticed around here is they've lost complete and total control, not only of themselves, but of people around them. And they're just grasping at straws trying to get back control. You can't. I don't like you. And that's with my nice words. That's with my nice words. Because I can make this Def Comedy Jam of insults. I really can. Oh, do I got some material for y'all. So it won't be tolerated. Not only will it not be tolerated, I'm smart. See, when we lived in McKeesport, I told you, the next door neighbors, they were sex trafficked. And before I stopped speaking to them, one of the things that I would do sometimes, at the time I rolled my cigarettes. I could get tobacco and cigarette filters at Puff's tobacco store. It was right next door to Giant Eagle on O'Neill Boulevard. I could get all that for under $20 in a week, and I had cigarettes all week. Well, one of the things I would do sometimes is roll them a pack or two of cigarettes and then drop them off. They pay me, $5, $10. Or you getting cigarettes for $5, $10 anymore? You're not. So it was a quick, easy way for me to make some money. Well, the one day I'm standing in the living room waiting for her to come down the stairs. I'm talking to her mom. She was helping her sister. And I'm looking at the TV, and she's telling me, oh yeah, she games. They message each other back and forth. Well, I remembered some of those gamer tags. They stuck in my head. And then, years later, I've seen some of those gamer tags again. You millennials are so stupid. I keep trying to tell y'all how you just leave digital fingerprints and footprints everywhere. Like, you're so stupid. Oh, so I'm smart. I sent those gamer tags. off to people with power for subpoenas. I don't want you around me. And I'm going to do all that I can to make sure you can't operate around me. And when I say not operate around me, I don't mean, oh, you get some stupid fine, a little slap on the wrist. No, I mean like you're gone for a long, long time. By the time you get out of jail, whatever kids you did have, they'll be virtually grown. And the funniest part is they did this stuff when we were back in McKeesport, yelling out the windows, yelling out the screen doors, talking loud on speakerphone calls, trying to witness intimidate me because I watched all that happen with my neighbors. Hmm. Well, like, there's other neighbors around here that can hear you, right? So that's not just witness intimidation for me. That's now more charges because you're witness intimidating them. There's more than one housewife around here. You wouldn't know that because you're a sewer crumpet and we don't speak to you. You wouldn't know that though. There's more than one housewife around here. And it's funny. I'm just going to sit around and keep letting you rack up those charges because I don't have to do much. My Sky babysitters X you out all the time. They keep Xing you out because booger sugar is bad. I'm going to have so much fun at your expense. I told the Sarge, I was like, Sarge, I'm going to have so much fun though. Like, so much fun. He's like, oh, Jesus. What are you going to do? I was like, nothing. Nothing outside of my normal everyday chores. I don't have to do anything. It's literally the way they react to me. I keep asking for a ride along. I keep asking for one, and I'm going to get one because I have a fairy godson that is about to graduate out of the police academy here shortly. And I'm going to get a ride along. And we're going to have a good time. Get down the street, drop me off, turn around, come back. I'll light a cigarette and start walking. It's literally the way they react to me. And when I tell you all you're doing is stroking someone's ego, Clarence Carter, Clarence Carter, you're just stroking my ego. It's the funniest stuff. It really is because I don't have to do anything. I don't even have to wear makeup. Some days I don't even brush my hair. I'll just pull it up into my little samurai knot and roll. And it's literally the way you sewer crumpets and douche canoes react to me. Boo.